Hello everybody, and welcome back to Conquering Your Commander. This week we have a very special, very Jeskai commander. This is Narset, Enlightened Master. Now we've already looked at one Jeskai commander in this series, Zedruu the Greathearted, but I thought what the heck, let's see what else these colors have to offer. If you're looking for a commander who plays fair, does some cute stuff but doesn't break the game, and your friends will enjoy it, this is not the deck. If you're looking for a commander who will single-handedly end games, take a million extra turns or combat steps, and just utterly hose those aforementioned friends, buckle up, it's about to go down. Costing only 3 colorless, 1 blue, 1 red, and 1 white, Narset has fairly average combat statistics with only 3 power and 2 toughness. Her relatively fragile body is easily made up for by her 2 passive abilities, First Strike and Hexproof. I should probably also mention that she's this cute little triggered ability that, lets her exile the top 4 cards of your library and cast any non-creature spell for free until the end of turn. I mean, that's pretty good, right? So let's get into it. Basically, for a Narset deck, you want to run as few creatures as you can, with an emphasis on pretty much everything else. To start off with, let's look at artifacts, which fall into one of 3 categories. First up, we've got the Mana Rocks. Cards such as the Signets, Sol Ring, Commander Sphere, Mana Vault, and Coalition Relic. These guys are meant to let us cast Narset as early as we can so we can swing with her without fear of being blocked. The second category falls under Library Manipulation. It is crucial that we know or at least have the chance to stack our top 4 cards to our benefit. To this end, I would recommend running cards like Crystal Ball, Sensei's Divining Top, and Scroll Rack. These will give us information on whatever will hit when we swing, maximizing our free spells. Lastly, we have the miscellaneous artifacts. These are the ones that you can run to make Narset indestructible, or allow us to get extra triggers, things like that. I would run things like Strionic Resonator, Mirari, and Darksteel Plate in these slots. Resonator allows us to pay 2 mana to go 8 cards deep into our library, something that is well worth the investment. Mirari, however, allows us to copy our extra turns and extra combat steps for a nominal fee of colorless mana, while Darksteel Plate makes it so that we can swing without fear of Narset dying by giving her indestructible. All 3 of these are very, very interesting and very, very worthwhile. Most of the sorceries we'll be running will be devoted to either granting you additional turns or additional attack phases. I've seen most lists run between 4 to 8 additional turn spells, with some of the best being Time Stretch, Beacon of Tomorrow, and Time Warp. These all either shuffle themselves into your library or lack the exile clause that most new extra turn spells have. For additional combat steps, Seize the Day and World at War stand out as the best 2 possible inclusions. They have built-in recursion with flashback and rebound respectively. An honorable mention should be for Fury of the Horde, which lets us cast it nearly for free if we accidentally draw it by exiling 2 cards from our hand. Narset is also a fan of land destruction, as much like Kalia, once she is active, she doesn't necessarily need mana to continue going off. Be careful with these, however, as if we lose Narset, we are just as vulnerable as our opponents are. Counterspells occupy a very strange place in Narset. On the one hand, we are playing blue, so a good counter can be just as strong as a good removal spell, but on the other, if we hit it with Narset's triggered ability, it might as well be a land. I would be careful with running too many counters in the deck, but you'll need to test out how many works best for your meta. 3 of the strongest instants for the deck are Mystical Tutor, Enlightened Tutor, and Long-Term Plans. As I mentioned before with the artifacts, manipulation on the top of your library is incredible for this deck. These 3 instants will allow us to guarantee at least one of the cards we hit to be something we want. Savage Beating is also another nice card to consider, since it gives us an extra combat step, much like its sorcery speed brethren. Basically, most of the enchantments you'll want to run will either act as pump effects for Narset, or have massive effects that can alter the game state. For pumps and auras, Aqueous Form, Spectral Ward, Steel of the Godhead, and Eldrazi Conscription can make Narset a nightmare to deal with for your opponents. Eldrazi Conscription is my personal favorite. The other half, the massively powerful enchantments, will do things like give everything flash, or let you cast spells for, like free. I'm talking about Leyline of Anticipation and Omniscience. I'd also advocate for running Reconnaissance. If you watched my Kalia video, you'll know that this little enchantment can be incredibly powerful with any commander that has an when X swings triggered ability. Hang on to your butts, because if you've ever wanted a Super Friends deck, Narset might just be the one for you. With an enormous selection of powerful walkers, most of which you'll have the opportunity to cast for free, your Narset deck can really churn out value. If I had to pick a few, I'd run Jace the Mind Sculptor for his Brainstorm ability, Chandra the Firebrand for her ability to copy instants and sorceries, Venser the Sojourner for his ability to make Narset unblockable and to flicker the enter battlefield effects that everyone loves to use, and lastly, Elspeth Sun's Champion, who can kill creatures with power greater than 4, which Narset just skirts under. You're not limited to these Planeswalkers though, as almost any Planeswalker is great if you cast it for free. Even Tybalt. But not really. Now, I normally don't like lands that come into play tapped unless it has an untappable clause, but for Narset, the Scrylands can be an invaluable source of information. They can help us move dead cards from the top, or if we're lacking any other ways to peek at the top card, give info about one of the cards we'll hit. Rogue's Passage is also a great inclusion, as it will make Narset unblockable, which can let us swing unmolested. Finally, Maze of Ith will allow us to swing and get a trigger from Narset, but protect her from taking any lethal damage. Well, guys and goyles, those are my suggestions for some cards to include in this deck. Narset, the Enlightened Master, is a fantastic Jeskai commander with a powerful triggered ability that not only lets you cast cards for free, it makes you lose friends at no additional cost. As always, gang, thanks for watching, and be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this video.